Once again, take a deep breath. We are basically trying to do one thing. We are basically creating that sound inside of us, and then we are also tracking the sound. That means we are trying to feel from where is it coming, and we are just kind of riding the sound of Omkara. This meditation on Om, or the Omkara as we call it, it makes things very easy for us to gradually dissolve all our toxins of our physical body and also toxins of our mental body. So this is usually considered to be one of the most beautiful exercise, a beautiful meditation that each one of us can do any point of time where we find that we have any kind of stress or anything that's kind of bothering us. If we really want to get out of it, very quickly we can just create. Even if we are not kind of creating that sound outside openly, even if we just do the same Om by taking a deep breath, and as we exhale, if we say, that means you are basically chanting inside of you. Inside also, if you chant without anybody others not listening to you, even that will create a vibration inside of you. Now today we wanted to have a very important topic for our discussion, and as I said, today we will just devote only 30 minutes in order to touch the inner core of this subject of wellness. It is obvious that all of us, all over the world, all of humanity, every one of us want to be well. But how come? How come? The question that has come to me from various places, from different students from all over the world, is that in this most critical, challenging time of this pandemic global, how do you think, with complete change set of circumstances all over the world, how are we to keep our body, our mind in perfect balance so that we could be healthy both in mind as well as in our body? How can we really maintain our wellness at a time where we find that there is so much illness, there is so much of fear and anxiety regarding how at all we could be healthy at a time when we hear the news coming from every directions to us that something is not right with our most closest of the close ones, and it is a kind of a panic button that is being pushed into us all the time, and quite naturally most people are really having a tough time to really find what really would take them to reach a point where things outside remaining the same, they will not be so much affected by it. Precisely, I would just remind you of a word that comes from medical science, where we find that it has been found that all our diseases, all our illnesses are born in our mind. That's the reason it's called psychosomatic. Psycho is our mind and somatic is our body. So first, any illness, that is the opposite of wellness, any illness or any disease, that means when we are not at ease. When we are not at ease, what naturally generate inside of us is a kind of a toxic environment inside of us. It is not a kind of an, if you are at ease with yourself, if you are very relaxed, you are very happy, you are very joyful, and you find things are all exactly in accordance with what you expect, things are pretty rosy all around you, you find things are good and you are at ease. At that time, you find a different kind of your body's energy, you find a different kind of your mindset, your mind, how it is reacting and responding to the external situations and circumstances. So here what you find is that normally when things go well, then we are at ease. But if we have threatening challenges, if we have situations and circumstances which are not very congenial for that ease to be sustained, then what happens? We become victims. We become victims of what? Victims of circumstances, situations, persons, and different kinds of negative vibrations that keep on bombarding on us from all around. And at times we are at loss how to manage it all. And what happens is automatically we generate a lot of physical manifestations of stress, and we lose the ease of our mind, and then we find we gradually start to show. That means the body shows somatic, that is the body shows symptoms of pains and aches, symptoms of uneasiness, symptoms of not feeling comfortable, symptoms of not feeling well. You feel that your energy is low, you feel that you are feeling dizzy, maybe, or some organ is not properly functioning, or the body's mechanism which previously was doing well, suddenly they go topsy-turvy. And then obviously for most of us what we do is that we run to a doctor. We run to a doctor and we try to take all their advice and then do everything that is needed, but all of it comes at a cost of further losing our health. Because any doctor, if we are really going to any allopathic doctors, normally they will prescribe us medicines, and each of these medicines have a host of many other side effects. So definitely trying to address a particular disease, we create a lot of other symptoms or side effects which create again as kind of an imbalance in our entire body's natural rhythm. So I want to come very straight to you on this. How do we take care of it? Basically, I would just suggest, just think about it, that it is my mindset. It is ultimately, it's my attitude with which I am responding or reacting to every environment and situations around me. And not only situations and surrounding me, but also what kind of attitude I have inside of me. What's the glasses through which I'm seeing this world? How am I being excessively judgmental at times, or maybe complaining for things which may not be deserving so much of complaint. So it all depends what I like, what I dislike. And I have in my mind conditions and concepts, ideas and thoughts which basically have either likes or dislikes. And as a result, I go on through this process of an inner kind of a restlessness. If we don't cultivate the practice of gradually bringing the mind to a state of rest, if we don't practice something by which we can calm down this particular restlessness of the mind, this panic state of mind, this stressful state of mind, how else do you think you can remain healthy for a longer time? If you really want to be healthy, you first have to know the fact that the breeding ground of disease and illness is your mind. So if you want to be healthy, you have to first and foremost focus your attention on one thing, to set right the mind, not to set right the external situations and circumstances which according to you is the cause of your pain and agony and suffering. But if you see it from a very subtle level, you'll find the pain and agony and suffering is not so much being provoked by outside as much as being reacted from inside. That's the reason stress is not all about what the external circumstances and situations are. Stress is all about how we are reacting to external situations and circumstances. Somebody may throw an insulting word at me. If I take it personally, obviously I'll instantly, kind of give back, tit for tat, or whatever. Even I would also be in anger, and I'll be expressing my words in angry mood, and the whole situation will become very, very unpleasant. Chain reactions follow. Inside of me and in the environment, I'll feel that it is no longer that very pleasant and healthy. So basically, until such time, I practice some simple practices on a daily basis by which my mind can gradually purge my mind can gradually let go. My mind can gradually get out of the clinging of those by which it goes into the mode of suffering. The simplest suggestion that I have, that I've been talking about every day, is that when we see that our mind is full with a lot of stuff that is causing the imbalance or the dis-ease, then we must make our efforts in such a direction that the mind is not full, but the mind is full, if you will. That is, if we practice mindfulness, we find gradually we grow into a state wherein we start becoming more appreciative of what God has already given us, what nature and the elements of nature is already continually providing us in abundance. So then what happens? Our areas of complaining about what has gone wrong, what is going wrong, and what is not right, what is not according to my choice, I stop those words. And then what I try to do is that I invite only thoughts, I actually nurture only those thoughts by which I find that I am able to see the infinite gifts of the divine that I am blessed with. So at any point of time, if I really want to enjoy life, if I really want to feel the happiness of life, I need to take myself away from my memory of the past and the agony that could possibly happen in future, which is my apprehension about the future. If I can detach myself from it, obviously there is a possibility that I can drop in to the present moment. And to come to the present moment, and to come to the body and the present moment, is the whole art of mindfulness. The whole art of being in your breath. The whole art of being in the present, to be tuned with your breath, is the whole process by which gradually we train our mind to calm down, because then the mind has what we say as something to cling on to, and we are giving our mind to cling on to our breath.